Cool.
No, none of this is being recorded.
I am gonna take a smell.
I mean, none of this is being kept. No, it is being recorded. Sorry. I didn't mean to pretend you weren't there. You are there.
Your camera's
You're
offended.
important. I love you guys. And that's not our camera, that's our audience. Oh my goodness.
Well, I didn't know you were talking to an audience. You were just looking at your camera and talking to your camera. So, you're weird.
Anyway, guys, today we're talking about whether we should use filters or not.
Yeah, he sniffs his dog and talks to his camera. He needs help.
I was supposed to do a funny cold intro and you turned it into a really weird thing.
I know, I like to do that.
Oh, let's roll the intro.
Hey guys, welcome to Life Theory once again. Like I said in the intro, we're talking about filters. And let's be clear, we're talking about filters for movies.
Yeah.
Not like, air filters. Like I'm a proponent of those no matter what. Should we use air filters? Sure. Yes. Should we use coffee filters?
Yes.
Except for I've heard people say cowboy coffee is good. They just put the grounds in the bottom. If you
do French press.
To let it set.
Yeah, I think the type of grind they use, like the coarseness, stays in the bottom for the most part.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting thing. But yeah, filters are good for physical applications. What about for media? Well, let's find out. But first, what are we drinking? And also, they're not all the same color. What's going on here?
Not. So, we ran out of flavor syrups.
Sorry, she's a bit giggly
I
right
am.
now. Anyway.
No.
So, you two have watermelon lemonade. And I have peach lemonade.
Okay.
Mine also has a little bit of caffeine because I'm tired.
Yeah, understandable. I honestly, she's not tired at all. She's doing perfectly fine right now. I honestly, I'm a little bit tired today too. I had a practice for a show that I'm planning on doing, Lord willing. So
It's horrible.
I'm a bit tired, and she's tired from
Pregnancy.
What?
We're just gonna say pregnancy.
We're gonna say pregnancy.
We get to blame things. I get to blame things on the baby.
All right. So
hey.
Here go.
yeah. Oh yeah. This is our first time announcing it.
yes.
I think. Well, no, we might have said it once.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, what's the hey?
I was gonna say, hi guys, this is Ruth.
Oh yeah, this is Ruth. For those of you that don't know,
she's been seen on this podcast.
my sister,
my wife.
But yeah, so I honestly, legitimately, when I thought about this topic, I actually did. I was like, I told you this. I was like, oh, Ruth would be a great one to go on for this because you had been thinking about media for the past few months and like really.
Me?
Yeah, really filtering through your...
No, the past few years.
Oh, I was like in the past few months, you've really been like filtering through your collection.
Yeah.
And we've had a lot of conversations about it.
It's been a slow filter for longer, but yes, recently I've been thinking about a lot about it.
And so, we've had a lot of really great conversations. So when I came up to this topic, I really, legitimately, I wanted to bring you on and get some of your ideas of should we even be using filters. Mm-hmm. So the first one is almost you'd think we can't even go any further than here because it's pretty definitive, which is if we need a filter, should we even watch it in the first place?
Good question. And
I guess one question would be, when do we need a filter?
Yeah. Filters are useful for a lot of things. Mm-hmm. You can filter out bad language. Mm-hmm. You can filter out inappropriate scenes.
Yep.
You can filter out You can actually filter out a lot of things. You can filter out like
Yeah.
You could
action
filter out
scenes.
almost the whole movie if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's very useful if you're watching a movie that has ungodliness in it and you want to try to take some of the bad things out of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But that goes back to our question. Why does it need to be filtered?
Yeah.
Right? Like if you go to a preaching service, you don't need to filter it.
Yeah.
Well, you shouldn't need to.
You shouldn't.
Yeah. I mean, everything goes through the filter of God's word. But you don't need to, like,
But as far
have an
as-
actual physical, like,
Yeah, because
bleeping
the
things
things
out.
being said are godly.
Yeah.
So that kind of puts a weird thing for a Christian of, okay, so I'm watching something that has things in it that were intentionally put in that aren't godly.
Yeah.
So what does the Bible say about that?
Well, the first verse that kind of encapsulates just watching stuff in general is Psalm 101:3. It says, I will set no wicked thing before mine eyes. I hate the work of them that turn aside. It shall not cleave to me. So I guess one of the first things that comes to mind is, in order to know what to filter, you have to know what's in there. And you can figure out what's in a movie by looking it up.
Yep.
If you know it's in there, then what is it like? What is the rest of the movie saying? And if you know that this particular thing is in there, how much does that really help to filter it out? When you skip the scene or you skip the word, and you're like, "Oh, I know what it skipped," so your brain can just like fill all that in.
Yeah, sometimes. Like,
Not all the time, but
yeah, well, and you brought up a good point. Like, if you look up a movie, like, as we know, you can look up the two websites I use is Plugged In and Common Sense Media. I'd recommend both of them. Common Sense Media gives you a really good, like, just general overview of what inappropriate things might be in the movie. Whereas Plugged In gives you a more in-depth view of, like, is this movie actually good, or should you avoid it?
I just use IMDb.
Oh, okay. Yeah, IMDb Parent Guide
Parent's
is
Guide,
also
yeah.
good. So if you look at one of those websites, right, it'll tell you what's in the movie,
Yeah.
good, bad, or otherwise. But then that can also tell you whether or not you should watch it.
Right.
Because the other, like, let's go a step further of, okay, so we know there's bad things. There's things that God says we should set no wicked thing before our eyes. And you go, oh, that's why we should use filters. Because
Yeah.
we don't want to set
Right.
wicked things before our eyes.
But you still are.
So, well, and we'll get to that in a little
Yeah.
bit. But, like, oh, my apologies, guys. It is a timer. Cool. But we're filtering it out. But the question that needs to be asked is, yeah, sure, it's removing bad things from this film, right?
Mm-hmm.
But is this film necessary?
Yeah.
Because, like, sometimes, like, there's not a lot of films where there's bad things in it, and it's a good film.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's even some that it's like it has a good theme.
Yeah, like a really great story.
Yeah. So I'm just taking out the bad words. It's like, well, at that point, what's the point? Like, there's no real profit to something that's like, okay, it's a nice story, nice storyline,
Yeah.
it's interesting,
It might even be like a straight up masterpiece.
but what profit is it?
I think of the verse, we don't have it in here, but what profiteth a man if he gain the whole world and lose his own soul?
Yeah.
So clearly the Bible doesn't have any value on anything of this world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which means, as followers of Christ, we shouldn't either.
And I think that's where a lot of people get hung up is everyone talks about like, wow, this movie was such a masterpiece.
And
And
it
it
might-
might be. There are so many movies that are very masterfully done.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people in Hollywood that like
But-
dedicate their whole
yeah.
life to these things.
But people, and I'm talking even in the Christian circles,
Mm-hmm.
they get one of the things, whether or not, you agree, they'll agree that this movie or this show has good or bad or is good or bad. One thing that I've noticed when it comes to movies that often will cause a Christian to let some things slide is they're too attached. They're very emotionally attached to their series or their thing.
Yeah.
And they, to the point where it almost becomes a matter of pride to them. And if you say, oh, I agree, it's a masterfully done movie, but there's these things in it that don't honor and glorify God or that go against the word of God. So that's why I choose not to watch it. And some people will get legitimately offended at you
Yeah.
for saying that you don't watch these movies for these reasons.
Yeah.
And I guess the point I'm making is they're just movies.
Yeah, the Bible's very clear that we're not children of this world, right? And because we're not children of this world, our identity should not come from this world.
Exactly.
Even if it's not bad things. I think of things that, and there's debate on things like, the Avengers or Star Wars. Film franchises that were very well done and are very interesting. And I'm not even going to say, like, that all of them are even necessarily bad.
Right.
But what I will say for a fact is if our identity is found
Yeah.
in the Avengers, or our identity is found in Star Wars or Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter or any of
Yeah.
these franchises that people get caught up in, then that's a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's where using a filter, like, okay, you're filtering out some bad stuff, but you're still so wrapped up in this that there's other things that are going unnoticed. And maybe where some people be like, oh yeah, I'd use a filter for this. You just fall in love with the storyline so much that you start to not really care
And you start to
about the
excuse.
content. Yeah. So that's...
Well, then it'd be like to your point. Well, now it's, it's not so bad. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really feel like taking the time to set up the
filter or pay for
Or
it.
it messes with the flow
Yeah.
of the film, or messes with the flow of the show. And all of a sudden, you're starting to sear your conscience.
Yes.
Right? And another thing that's very much emphasized in the Bible is that we're not supposed to prove what is bad.
Yeah, God just straight up tells us what's bad.
We're supposed to prove what is good. And that's what we're supposed to focus on. It's, in fact, this is actually something that's really interesting that I had the privilege of talking to some people about at Professional Development Day. As many of you know, I work in a special education environment, and I was able to talk to some paras about using positive language. Everyone says, like, if you say, don't think of a pink elephant, or don't think of, a man with a spaghetti hat. like, you hear the don't, but you also hear the word, right?
Yeah.
So, anytime you're focusing on what not to think about, you're thinking about those things.
Yeah.
And trying to not think about. So, I need to not be depressed. I need to not be upset. I need to not be mad at him for what he did to me. You're thinking about what he did to you, and it's making you mad, right?
Like, don't think about the pain. It's fine.
Yeah.
And then the pain grows more and more.
Versus if you start thinking about other things.
Yeah.
So, the Bible in Philippians 4:8, I believe we got it wrong last time.
Yeah. Last time we quoted this, we said the wrong reference.
Yes.
And we're coming back to it, not just because we only know 10 verses of the Bible, but because it's so good and it's so applicable.
Yeah.
It says, finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of a good report, if there be any virtue, if there be any praise, think on these things.
Do you know what I just noticed?
Yeah.
It uses the word good as in good report, but actually doesn't say whatsoever things are good. Think on these things. It defines what goodness is and the specific elements of things that we're supposed to think about. Because so many people, if you just say, well, think about good things, and then you leave it up to their definition, everyone's got a different definition of what good is, and that's where we run into problems with deciding what you believe and what you watch, what you listen to, because then one person's good is another person's bad.
Yeah.
And
it's kind of like the judges. Pastors going through that, if you know, right in their own eyes.
everyone did that, which is right in their own eyes, yeah.
So, like, if in the judges everyone did that which was right in their own eyes. And Brother Yates,
Yeah.
a man who taught a Bible Institute, he had a wonderful saying.
If it's right in our eyes, it's probably wrong
in
in
God's
God's
eyes. Yep.
Yep. So that is something I didn't think about it that way. But
I didn't either till you were just reading it. I was like, wait.
He defines what good is.
Yeah, gives you specifics.
Versus, because we're not the people that should define it.
Exactly.
So we might say, oh, it's not that bad. Oh, it's only a little bit. Or, I can skip over that part. But we are not the arbiters of what is good or bad.
Yeah.
Right.
So then going back to filters, though, one other thing that I thought about in filters is, because we already went through that point of, like, we're not supposed to be conformed to the world, right? In Romans 12:2.
Right. It says, and be not conformed to this world, be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. So there's the proving the good versus proving what's bad.
Yeah. And the big thing that we've been kind of hinting at and talking about is no filter will get rid of a bad theme.
Yep.
Yes.
Even if you take out all the explicit sin, right?
Yeah.
The swearing, the inappropriate scenes, the senseless violence, the crude language, right? You still have the theme of the movie.
Yeah.
And most, if not all, movies where it would require you to have filters
Doesn't have a good theme.
They don't have good themes.
Or it has not a much of a theme. Like I think of Philippians 4, it says, if there be any virtue and if there be any praise. Well, the things you're filtering out might seem minor, but the rest of the movie, is there any virtue and is there any praise in it? Or you just kind of watch it because it's fun to watch and it's like your favorite genre and it just makes you feel good.
Exactly. And so, one last thing that we are actually thinking about at the end, I'll let you take this one, Andrew, is there a difference? Do you want? If you
sorry, he's just like.
Do you want it? Is there a difference with standards for kids? Like, should we all be watching the same? Or because one thing that I want to make clear is these aren't just rules for kids. Filters for the kids. We're full-grown adults. We're saying this is for adults.
Yeah.
Adults shouldn't be watching this inappropriate stuff.
Yeah.
Adult content is just bad content. But is there a situation where there might be a different standard for kids and for adults?
Yeah, because kids have a different maturity level. They're still growing. And so there are some things that are acceptable, that have a good theme.
Yeah.
that don't have stuff we need to filter out, but it's got a very deep theme to it. It's got a very deep,
Heavy.
heavy. That's the
Yeah,
word I was trying to
heavy.
think of. Very heavy theme,
Yeah.
and it's like, well, it's not necessary. We don't need kids to be getting weighed down by these deep and heavy
Burden.
themes.
Yeah.
It's something that burden their mind. It's like
Before
they're
they
still
know how to,
growing.
like, process these
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, they're still growing. Their mind is still growing. It's still learning.
Yeah.
We need to help them to grow and to get a good foundation of things before. So yeah, maybe there's some things that are good, but we also have to be wise in the fact of like, well, we don't need to filter it, but maybe we need to filter whether or not it reaches to our kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Or
kids around us.
Even how many details, like, there's certain events in history, like a major one, like the Holocaust, okay?
And I was actually just thinking
Yeah.
that,
Like, it's fine, like, it's history. So, yes, it's good to teach your kids about it, our history and stuff like that. They don't need to know a lot of details yet.
And
Well,
they don't-
depending on the age.
Yeah,
the
and
maturity
when we're
level.
talking young, we're talking like less than 12.
Yes.
You know, we're talking, very young, very much still maturing. Between like 12 and 16 is where they start understanding more about the world, start getting more exposure, more ability to handle things.
Yeah.
But yeah, something like the Holocaust or like Sound of Freedom, talking
Yeah.
about like
Child trafficking.
human trafficking and all that and the issues with that.
Yeah.
And someone trying to stop that. It's a wonderful story, but it might be something that children just aren't ready to understand yet.
Because you also don't want to instill in your children a mindset of fear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then if they grow up hearing all these crazy things that either have happened or are happening in our world, and that's what you talk about and that's what you teach them, then they have that mindset of like just fearing people, like all people. And there's something to be said for a healthy dose of caution.
Sure.
But we're
not
also
fear.
supposed to, we're supposed to be witnesses too. And that can cause, if they're afraid of everybody and what might happen, they're not going to be very effective witnesses.
Yeah.
So that's why filtering the content of your films for kids is another reason why that would be good. And even in the Bible, God goes into some talks about stories that are deeper and more, but God knows how to word things and to tell things in a way younger kids won't understand. Older kids and adults will.
Yeah.
But God knows, God's perfect.
Like-
He knows how to do that.
In the modern day, and I'm not saying I recommend this, but Pixar kind of does that idea. If you want to get an idea, there's certain times where something will be said, and as a kid, I was just like, anyway. And legitimately, didn't think anything of it.
Same.
And then as an adult, I rewatch a Pixar movie and I go,
Wait a
Yes.
second. Yeah.
But
oh,
see,
I know what they were trying to say.
the difference is God's not trying to be crude.
No.
And trying to make
a joke.
a joke or entertainment for adults to catch.
No.
God is
Trying to
trying
make
to
a point.
make a point while also being discreet so the children don't understand until they're old enough.
Yeah.
And an interesting thought with that is, I don't remember if I said this already, but when there's content that we can use to make a point
Yeah.
to
Yes.
the kids.
Oh,
like, okay, so this happened, and here's why, or like, let me explain that, or
Yeah.
here's why maybe this isn't quite right, and here's why.
Even if there is something wrong in a movie, you can use that as
And like one example that I've been watching through Little House on the Prairie.
overall.
It doesn't need filters.
Yeah, it's a very godly show.
It
in a
teaches
lot.
very godly principles. and very godly themes. But it's not quite the same like level as far as there are certain phrases that are said or beliefs that are held by some of the characters. And they'll say a sentence like, I believe this, or, oh, I think this, and it's not scripturally accurate. So that's not something that it's like, oh no, they said that Little House is a garbage show. It's, I think, to me, where I'm at right now, that's something you can use to teach children that, hey, this person in this show made this statement or did this thing, but here's why the Bible says that that is not true. Because overall, Little House does teach very godly principles, and in a way that children can understand. It advocates for, like, telling the truth, obeying your parents. It advocates for healthy relationships between husband and wife.
Yeah.
Different things like that.
I think in a film, in something like that, where, again, we're being clear that it's not godless, disgusting films. Good films. Where they'll have good themes, clean films, and then there'll be something in it that's like, well, that's not right. When you point that out to a kid, and you explain to them what happened, and you explain to them why it's wrong, what you're allowing them to start learning is discernment.
Yes.
You're allowing them to start going, oh, okay, so they said this, but that was wrong because of this. And then all of a sudden, they start watching a film on their own, and then they see it, and they go, oh, but that's wrong because this. And so you actually, when you go through that with them, you give them the opportunity to have discernment in their own lives.
So it's kind of goes back to that verse, Romans 12:2. The end of it says, prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. We prove that to our kids and the kids around us so that they can prove it to themselves and in the future to their own kids.
Well, and it's useful in real life because we are not always, first of all, going to agree with each other on specifics, details, like the small things that we believe.
Of course.
We might have different views. But also, as you come across different people from different backgrounds, different situations, especially if you're trying to witness to somebody, but even if you're talking to a fellow Christian who has a different belief system, just because they believe differently than you, now always stand up for the truth. That's what we're teaching them by pointing things out. But we're teaching them also that not everybody agrees on everything. And you don't have to agree on every tiny detail to be a quote-unquote good person, I guess. Like, it's not like, oh, this person thinks this random thing. And so they're a bad person, they're a wicked person, we have to cut them out of our life.
Yeah. Like, this
realistic.
person's okay with watching Cars. How dare they?
Yeah.
Don't they know that cars don't talk?
Yeah.
Voodoo.
Exactly. So it's like training for the real world as they also interact with other people, other human beings, that they have discernment then not to just believe everything they're saying, but also not to just write off everybody and think that they're holier than thou, essentially.
Yeah.
Because of a different viewpoint.
Like, one thing that I'm hearing a lot is discernment.
Yeah.
Right? God has given us discernment by going to his word. And the ability to discern by going to his word. And so we can, first of all, use discernment by looking up a movie and asking ourselves 2 questions, not just one. Because it started with one of, should we use filters? But the second is, should we watch the movie in the first place?
Yeah.
Right? The 2 questions are, is there evil things in this movie that just strike it off the list immediately? Because a lot of the times, especially like if you've been in the world, unfortunately, you know a lot. And so often, even if it's muted, you're just like, yeah, I know what he said. So you still have that going through your head. So is there evil in the movie? But then the second thing you have to ask yourself is, by looking at what this movie is about, is this going to be a God-honoring movie?
Mm-hmm.
Will I be able to learn something good? Is there going to be something virtuous? Is there going to be praise in this movie? Or is it going to be blasphemous? Is it going to be unprofitable?
Mm-hmm.
And so then you have that same discernment. Then you bring that down. As you've filtered it in your life, you bring it down to your children.
Mm-hmm.
Again, looking for what is good, not just looking for seeing whether there's something bad.
Yeah.
Because they say the absence of bad is not necessarily the presence of good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Just because you took everything bad out of a movie doesn't make it a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
Good is an active thing. You have to put it in.
Yeah.
So then as you have kids,
Yeah.
you can go, okay, so this is good. Are they ready for it?
Yeah.
This is good. Is there things I need to explain? And so then it just goes back down to having that discernment with your kids.
Yeah.
And then in kind, you can teach them to
And
have discernment.
Discernment to make sure you're not too attached. Because I've had that problem
Same.
where I was just really attached to a movie and I really liked it. And then God pointed something out and said, no, but this movie doesn't teach good things. And I had to let go of that attachment to the movie and put attachment on God and what is right.
Yeah.
So another area of discernment. Just well, the Bible talks about setting your affections on things above and not on things of this earth. Where are your affections set? Does this movie or series or franchise have so much of your emotion that you will,
Compromise your morals.
compromise your morals, hurt other people,
Yeah.
just for a movie?
And grieve the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, should we use filters?
You could.
You can.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm
Not a
not
bad
against... let's be clear. I'm not against
No.
filters.
Yeah.
If you're going to watch something and it has inappropriate stuff in it,
Please
Use
use,
a filter.
filters.
Yeah.
but...
But maybe use a little discernment and decide, is this movie even necessary to watch in the first place?
Yeah. Don't ask, is it bad? Ask, is it good?
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest thing that, and we'll close with this, the biggest thing I noticed that helped me in my walk with the Lord. For a while I was like, well, what's wrong with it? What's wrong with it? What's wrong with it? I spent the first half of my life trying to not sin.
Yeah.
Right? And then there came a time, well, even longer than that, but then there came a time, and it was actually at a camp, one time at camp. It was in 2020. I remember because there's the tent. We're in the tent.
Yeah.
And everything, the preaching and the music was all about the glory of God. And I was convicted by the Holy Spirit, and he told me, it doesn't matter what is wrong with it. You should want to do things for the glory of God. You should want to do things that give God glory. So rather than looking for, well, is there sin in it? It's, does it give God glory?
Yep. So your thinking is right. Because if you're looking for the sin, you're going to be thinking about it anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for God, you'll find him.
Yeah. And you'll be thinking about him.
So
All
go
right.
look for God.
Yes.
Yeah, I like this. Thank you so much for your perspective.
Mm-hmm.
I knew it would be invaluable. As you can tell, like we said, very pregnant, so pray for her. She's taking care.
10 weeks left.
She's eating for 2 and being tired for 2. And
Not always eating for 2. I need to work on that. I don't always eat enough.
But yeah,
But-
but we're excited about that. And hopefully we'll have more guests to come.
I already have somebody who wants to join us, and they offered a topic, which I'll tell you about afterwards.
Ooh.
We're not telling you. We're keeping it a secret. You'll find out. But yeah, more guests to come. We're very excited about it. But with that being said, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching.
And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.